The red-haired pirates are the most mysterious crew, even though they were introduced first in the series. We don't know much about their powers, but we have some information about their statuses and rankings. Brand New described the whole crew as having a high average bounty and called them the most balanced crew in One Piece. In this video, we will predict the bounties of the red-haired pirates using hints and Goro Awase, which Oda loves a lot. Let's start with the well-known one, Shanks. Shanks has a bounty of 4,049,900,000 berries, which shows he is in a league of his own. The numbers 4, 8, and 9 can be read as Shiyaku, which refers to Shanks. Shanks is not the only one whose bounty uses this wordplay. Take the Cross Guild, for example. Crocodile has a bounty of 1.965 billion berries. The number 965 can be read as Kuroko, simply Croco. Mihawk's bounty is 3.590 million berries, and 359 can be read as Mikoku, which sounds similar to Mihawk. Roger's bounty of 5,564,800,000 berries also has a connection. 648 can be read as Roshia, which could refer to his given name, Roger, and so on. Shanks is a tremendous user of Conqueror's Haki, as seen during the Wano arc, where he paralyzed and scared off Admiral Green Bull using its power. Later, at Egghead, Dory and Bragi compared Joy Boy's Haki to Shanks's, which is probably the biggest compliment in One Piece. It's also revealed that Shanks has an advanced Supreme King Haki technique that allows him to control his own presence, preventing others from seeing into the future. During the Egghead arc, we also saw that he has amazing future observation haki when he used it before one-shotting a pirate worth 3 billion berries and his right-hand man with a technique called Divine Departure. Shanks was able to dismantle the kid pirates effortlessly, and while this was a great showing of his strength, the fact remains that he wasn't even going all out. He deserves a high bounty of 4 billion berries for sure. Maybe it could be even higher, but since he has some connections with the world government, they did not raise it by much. Next, we have Benn Beckman, who is said to be the moon while Shanks is compared to the sun. It's also said that they are pretty close in strength, likely resembling the dynamic between Zoro and Luffy. Other Yonko crews have a bigger gap, for example Marco and Whitebeard or King and Kaido. Yes, both King and Marco are very strong, but you know what I mean. The number of characters with a bounty of 1 billion or above has increased a lot in recent arcs, and as the story continues, more pirates will have bounties over 1 billion berries. I bet Shanks also has at least 3 people in his crew with such high bounties. Benn Beckman is the vice captain of the red-haired pirates. His biggest and most controversial feat so far is scaring Kizaru at Marineford, even though Kizaru had fought Marco earlier and even Whitebeard himself. My theory is that Benn Beckman has some kind of power that counters Kizaru's abilities, but even the fact that he can counter the speed of light says a lot about his powers. According to Film Red, his haki surpasses that of an admiral. These words come directly from a volume based on Shanks' crew, which is supplementary information supplied by Oda himself. He is also the one who cut off Eustace Kid's arm, so he is ruthless and dangerous as well. Beckman is especially known for his advanced intellect, having the highest IQ of any character introduced during the East Blue Saga, even above the master strategist Kuro's and Nami's. I have 2 options for Benn Beckman's bounty. It's either 1.89 billion or 2.89 billion, because the numbers can be pronounced as Bekuma, which is how Beckman is pronounced in Japanese. Both seem fitting for the vice captain of the red-haired pirates. It depends on how strong Oda decides to make him. Compared to Katakuri or other commanders, this may seem high, but as I mentioned, we are in the final saga and bounties from now on will only increase. Rockstar is one of the deadliest members of the red-haired pirates to be introduced in One Piece. Although he didn't debut with the rest of the crew at the beginning of the story, he later joined them. We saw Rockstar when Shanks sent him to converse with Whitebeard himself. There it was revealed that Rockstar had a 94 million berry bounty, which was quite impressive. 2 years have passed since then. I'm sure he's grown in power and influence. Rockstar is a swordsman and specializes in a style called splitting sword. I think anyone would become a decent swordsman with Shanks as their captain. There are other swordsmen in the crew as well. Due to these reasons, I believe his bounty has increased to at least 300 million berries, which is a pretty good amount for someone who isn't even an officer of the crew. Monster is a monkey who is often seen sitting on the shoulder of Bonk Punch. Just like the Straw Hat Pirates have Chopper as an animal capable of combat, the red-haired pirates have Monster. Surprisingly, Monster is known to be one of the executives of the red-haired pirates, which shows that he has some level of fighting capability. Despite being a monkey, he possesses high intelligence intelligence and can understand humans. We don't know if he has eaten a devil fruit or has some special ability, but I think we'll see something similar to Kiba and Akamaru, as it's said that Monster fights in tandem with Bonk Punch, beating up weaker enemies while Punch charges up the strength of his own attacks to deal with stronger foes. Bonk Punch is yet another powerful executive of the red-haired pirates, and according to Film Red, Bonk Punch has a very powerful, well, punch. Makes sense. I believe his bounty will be around 600 million berries. I have a feeling that Lime Juice is the strongest crew member after the top 3. He is able to jump in mid-air similar to Skywalk and Geppo. He primarily fights with an electrically charged staff, which he uses in aerial combat. Lime Juice was also shown with an axe in the past, although he's yet to be seen using it in the main story. He seems to be a perfect opponent for Lafette if the Blackbeard and red-haired pirates fight in the future. Even at Marineford, when pirates from both crews were paired, we saw a matchup of Lafette and Lime Juice. I believe he has a bounty of at least 900 million berries. Yasopp is one of the more prominent members of the red-haired pirates and the father of Usopp. He's one of the top 3 members of the crew and has a very high bounty on his head according to Brand New. In combat, he is so exceptional that Shanks personally came to Syrup Village to seek him out. Luffy also stated that he had never seen him miss a shot. According to Yasopp, he can even snipe the antennae off a fly from 100 meters away without harming the rest of it. Yasopp is also an excellent observation haki user and can see the future longer than Katakuri. Yasopp vs Van Augur is one of the most anticipated fights in One Piece, and after revealing Van Augur's Devil Fruit, it may become my favorite one, the clash of the 2 strongest snipers. In Japanese, Yasopp is pronounced as Yasoppu. In numbers, it would be 1.832 billion berries. Hongo is a doctor of the red-haired pirates. He wields a polearm as his weapon. In the anime, this appears to be a quarterstaff. He was also shown wielding a saber in the past. Oda may change it again, but a doctor fighting with a weapon sounds cool. Take Law, for example. Despite the fact that he gave Bartolomeo fake poison, I wouldn't be surprised if he can make poisons as well. He is a skilled doctor after all. Not much is known about his combat powers, but I predict his bounty will be 700 million berries. I remember that there were a lot of theories about Building Snake a few years ago. Some theories were about his dragon tattoo, and some thought he was Frankie's father. But after the last Vivre card, it's nearly confirmed that Frankie's father is Queen, so Yasopp still remains the only one who abandoned his kid. Snake fights using a swordsmanship style called Juggling 2 Sword style while performing acrobatic moves and stomping kicks. 800 million berries bounty. Lucky Roux is the second strongest subordinate of the red-haired pirates and an incredibly powerful cook. Just like Yasopp, he has a very high bounty on his head and is one of the reasons why this crew doesn't have any big weaknesses. He was the first person in the story to kill someone, and that certainly says a lot about him. He is also an excellent user of haki. According to the 4 billion volume, Roux fights utilizing his girth to his advantage, using a style called self-bowling. He is capable of curling himself into a ball and then rolling or being tossed around by an ally. Despite his round body, Lucky Roux was able to sneak up on a mountain bandit without being noticed. The muscles in his legs are very strong and surprisingly flexible. I hope we'll see this self-bowling style in action soon. Sometimes Oda uses characters' heights or birthdays for their bounties. We have 2 options. Either it's linked to his height, making his bounty 2.041 billion berries, or to his birthday, which would make his bounty 2.076 billion berries. By the looks of it, Howling Gab seems to be the tank of the crew. He has a beastly presence and likely possesses tremendously high physical strength. Despite his appearance, it's said that Gab is kind at heart and a little timid. He hates bugs and ghosts. Gab is capable of generating air blades from his mouth through a roar-like technique. He can also use paralysis. This ability sounds really interesting, and I hope his future fight won't be off-screened. I would give him a bounty of 800 million berries. That's it for today. Let me know what you think about these bounties in the comments, and if you want to see the ranking of the strongest Conqueror's haki users in One Piece, you can watch this video right here. Bye.